We have 3-note per string. We have all the cool stuff that is going to make us sound very cool. But we want to know about what the chords are doing and what the notes are in the chords. That is going to be like the next step once you've got everything else down. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the arpeggio shapes. There's 3, and I'll send you the tab for that, so don't worry. But there's 3 shapes, and they're pretty easy. And there's 3 chord types in a scale. So we're going to be working with A minor this whole time because it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's the easiest one to memorize, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what chord types there are. So we have major. Lovely. We have minor. Glorious. And we have diminished. So these are swept arpeggios. You don't need to worry about the sweeping. If you do need to worry about the sweeping, look at the sweep picking roadmap. But this is more like theoretical knowledge and how to basically sound bloody cool. You can sweep them though. So like that'd be very cool. But we just want to know those 3 shapes. And like the pentatonic, like the 3-note per string, like basically everything in music, those shapes, where you start them, that is the root. Or in this case, let's think of it as the B string is where the root is, because whilst these 2 notes are the same, you're not supposed to play it anyway, but you can play it like this. And I don't want you confusing that to be the root note. So it's either that note or that note. If it matches with the B, that's the note, okay? So that's on A. So now, note. Any note.
Any note. C.
C. Great. C minor. C major. C diminished. So those 3 shapes, wherever you put them, so it's worthwhile learning the notes on the A string now, and potentially the B, but the A more. So now we have those 3. Then we have those 3 chord types. They are the most common. But now we have to look at the scale. You remember there were 7 notes in a scale? So if we're looking at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, those all have to have one of those 3 chord types. So that is going to be in every single minor scale. Now, remember, major and minor have the same notes, so the same patterns. So this is actually the same for major. So if you start from the 3rd note in the minor scale, it's the same for the major scale. So we have minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major. I find it's easy to split that up. So minor, diminished, major, then minor, major, major. That's how I always remember it. Otherwise, remembering 7 is just crazy. So that means we have A minor, B diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and A minor. The reason that is cool and very good is because that gives us these shapes. So all you need to remember, if you don't necessarily need to know where the notes are or how to find them, every minor scale is whole, half, whole, half, whole. And then that's like the spacing. So 2 frets, 1 fret, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret, 2 frets. So we have our minor. This is the root. We have our diminished. Major. Minor. Minor. Major. Major. And you're going to make me do it. Minor. That is cool and very good because we can do this for literally any scale. So let's do E minor. Well, let's do the whole, half, whole, half, whole. So we have E minor, F sharp diminished, G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, Lovely. So that gives us so much to work with. Now, say you're an A minor, right? And they're like, okay, now we're doing a C chord. So you're going like A, C. You just have that information right there. And what you want to be doing when improvising, writing, any of this thing is you want to know what notes are in the chord. That's almost more important than the notes in the scale. And to a point, it's not even about the notes particularly. You don't need to know A, C, and E. What you need to know is 1, 3, 5. Because then it doesn't matter what this is. We know that shape works on guitar. That's your 1, 3, 5. So 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. If this is the root, that's 1, 3, 5. If this is the root, that's 1, 3, 5. So then if we do 2, 4, 6, like. You know, we can start to build the scale like. And you see how the scale starts to be built like that. And we have. It doesn't matter where we are. Minor, diminished major, minor, minor, major, major is always what it is. So that means if we're on chord 3 of the scale, so that's the relative major, and we're in, so that would be C major in A minor, then we know we need to target C, E, G, or we need to target 3, 5, 7. So it's important to learn your intervals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 always repeats. And we always have 1, 5, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 7, 4, 6, 1, because that's the octave. 5, 7, and 2, 6, 1, and 3. Oh, sorry. And then 7 is 7, 2, and 4. There you go. 7, 2, and 4. So that's the intervals for each one. So that you don't really want to think of that as like 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, that kind of thing. You want to think of that as it'll just help you start to understand it. But basically, if you're over an A is cool. That's kind of the logic it boils down to. If you're on a C, C is cool. Whatever chord you're on, the root note will work. Then you start to add the third, then you start the fifth, and it just starts to sound bloody brilliant. So with these arpeggio shapes, right? That's all well and good. And we should also look at the 3-note difference. It's good to know those little shapes. So if you're improvising, how cool is that? So then these 3 shapes, and this is really next step. So we have our A minor, right? All cool and good. So we have this one shape. But there's 3 different shapes that we can use for that. So that is going to be like this. But definitely just get these shapes down. Learn all the variations. So if this is for A minor, that's 3 shapes you have to remember. So let's do it for D minor. The reason that's important is because then obviously you can go up the octave. So so you see, just learning these basic shapes unlocks so much. There's probably about 10 things you really got to grasp here. So when we start from learning pentatonic position 1 and adding all the positions, then once we've got that, we link the positions. Then what we do is we do the 3-note per string and learn 1, 3, then 1, 3, 5, 7. Do the picking exercises where you do your picking hand and reduce the amount. Then you'll learn with the legato exercises. Then you move on to harmonizing. Then you move on to arpeggios and understanding the chords in a scale. And then you understand inversions. And then there is literally nowhere on the fretboard that doesn't make sense in any key.